In this video, I'm going to be taking you through how I see Sales Navigator being an immensely useful business development client relationship tool for professional services, be it you be in legal, accounting, consulting. For me, certainly for all business development folk and for client teams, I can see Sales Navigator is just a hugely useful tool to have to support you in the day-to-day. The way to think of Sales Navigator, it is a CRM system for LinkedIn. So it only shows you data based on accounts and leads that you save. So a lead, in simple terms, is a person on LinkedIn. That could be somebody you talk to every day, through to somebody you've identified that you want to get to know and build a relationship, through to an influencer within an account or the C-suite, and however you decide to focus on your go-to-market. So everything that you see in your homepage is based on what you tell it to show you. And then you can start to create lead lists around examples here, where I've got my imaginary CEO key client list. Go to lead shares, and then very quickly we can see what the CEOs on LinkedIn of my imaginary key client list are sharing. And then you can click view, and then from here you can choose whether it's appropriate to drop a like or a comment on the post. And of course, as a reminder, if you drop a like on a post, just the author gets a notification. If you drop a comment on the post, every single person here gets a notification. So if I were to comment on this post, then I would network around close to 2,000 people through a simple comment. And this is how powerful it can be, because you are still triggering the algorithm on LinkedIn. Therefore, if I were to engage with Claire's post and drop a post on LinkedIn tomorrow or the next day, it's more likely my post would appear in Claire's newsfeed. So I imagine this from a key client program, a partner, a senior manager, senior associate director, a business development person. You build out your lead lists based on people that you want to remain front of mind or get front of mind. And then Sales Navigator enables you to have a laser focused one-to-one conversation with these individuals. The other aspect of what Sales Navigator is now bringing is the account hub. So what you can now see is activity or buyer intent, if you will, towards your organization. So these activities here, this is ad engagement, this is company engagement. So company engagement is visiting the corporate page on LinkedIn, or if you have LinkedIn Insights tag manager on the website traffic. And then employee interactions are things like in-mails being sent through. So now you can start to get an understanding of what's happening across your book of business in terms of LinkedIn. You can see alerts, you can see all sorts of things then that are happening here, and you can add in notes. So again, you're starting to get high-level understanding of what's happening towards your client base and whether they're expressing some sort of interest to you. The other aspect you can add in is category intent. So LinkedIn have put 30,000 products and services into Sales Navigator. So here I can look at what I'm tracking. So sales intelligence software, CRM software, and sales training software. So here would be 246 employees, in this case at Barclays, who are expressing buying interest in CRM software. If I were to click on that 246 employees, it would then show me those 246 employees who are showing buying interest in CRM software. LinkedIn at the moment is very cautious around how it is surfacing that and how the algorithm works, but it is based on their own proprietary first-party data, which no one else has access to. So it's certainly intriguing and worth considering. The next aspect in terms of what we can do with LinkedIn, as I said, is you treat it as a CRM system. So I'm going to work with Microsoft in this example. So I'd come here, I just type in Microsoft, and then we wait for it to pre-populate. I go to Microsoft, and then from here, a number of things. You would save this as an account if this was the first time you've done it. So a big save button here, and then you can add it to lists. I can add notes, which are then either visible to me or visible to other colleagues on the Sales Navigator platform. Here, this is their new generative AI overview in terms of giving you summaries of the account. So if I click Generate Overview, This is the same as if you were to put in to Microsoft Chat Bing or any Chat GPT, for example, it will and ask it to summarize an organization. This is what you're getting here, front and center. So brand new, but in my view, very helpful to give you high level overview of what's happening, which then enables you to have business value led conversations, if you will, related news, top voices, and key people within the business. So really starting to help give you an understanding of the general overview of what's happening across an account. Relationship Explorer here, you can see I can change this to CXO or director level. You can create filters, you can make this unique to you, but fundamentally what Sales Navigator is trying to do is help me find short routes to conversations via past colleagues of organizations where I used to work here. So we can see if I wanted to get to Scott, I used to work with PA, I can go, hey, we could use the alumni route or past colleagues in terms of PwC. You can use all these filters to create these personas that are unique and relevant to you. Other aspects in terms of the relationship map, this I believe is going to be very useful for professional services in terms of if you're doing this in spreadsheets, etc. I can then start to create different relationship maps. You can add people in, you can see the highlights, you can change their role. This is subjective at the moment in terms of what that role is. If you've got colleagues who work on who also have Sales Navigator licenses, you can add them, so you can start to work across the same lists, and then you can also add notes here on the side, which again private to you or public to anybody that's Sales Navigator within your own organization. And if you have a link to CRM, you can then push this directly back into CRM as well. Microsoft Dynamics, Salesforce, and HubSpot are the three that I'm aware of at the moment where this can be done. And you can create multiple maps. So super useful if you're running this on spreadsheets, and we can see here that it's highlighting that someone's left. So Rachel's left and moved somewhere else. So I now need to do something with that in terms of well, where's she gone and who has replaced her. And then from here also you can create these maps by dragging and dropping people around and moving people and creating a map which is related to you and of interest. Here is that buyer intent where it's now down at a corporate level. So email, company page, profile views. You can start to get some insight down the side here. And then you can get further down here, a breakdown of what is happening within here. And we can see director level employee, strategic level, and you click on these and then it will take you through to the people that have been doing these things, and then it's up to you to figure out that route through. And then we can see more level here, and then we got filter accounts by things like new decision makers. Can be super helpful around everything that is happening across your accounts. The other aspect of what Sales Navigator also does is it creates that virtual map of what is called Team Link. So if I click on all employees, open up these filters here, and so what Team Link is that anybody that's on a Sales Navigator license, it creates a virtual connection. And then you have also something called Team Link Extend. So let's say you have 100 licenses, you might have 1,000 Team Link Extend licenses. You can invite your colleagues where it doesn't make sense for them to have a Sales Nav license. So there could be finance team, IT team, marketing team, the C-suite, but you then invite them to bring their networks into Team Link to help unlock the warm routes in. So what Team Link looks like here is if I go to connection, I click on Team Link, and we can see on this demo dashboard here, I have 4,000 people at Microsoft in this instance are connected to at least one person on this demo dashboard. And then you can click on Team Link button here, and this will then show you who your colleague is that has got that route into Brendan or Ram or etc. etc. So immensely powerful to shortcut that route to a conversation. And then from here, imagine you're a business development director, manager, or your client lead partner. We can start to filter down to all sorts of things. So let's say I'm a law firm and I want to focus on the legal function. I come down to function here, I type in legal, click include, and now I can map through, in this case, all of Microsoft's legal function, and then I can even choose it down by geography I want to. So let's say I'm only interested to those in the UK, for example. So I'm now choosing United Kingdom, and now I'm down to that 64. And the next thing that's going to be of interest to me is tracking those who have changed roles, either have been promoted or have moved into the business. So you can see here, all these folks have been recently promoted, and George has been recently hired within the business. And again, we can start to build this out. So if I take out across all of the function, we can see 33. So hugely useful to keep on top of what's happening within large organizations in terms of job changes, promotions, which then could create opportunity or can create threat. And with the job change filter here, I can toggle this, and then this creates a safe search, which appears here. So what Sales Navigator is then doing is just working in the background for me and automatically updates me when these changes happen within the defined organizations that I'm looking at. Other things we could do in terms of, I could be interested in the alumni within my account. So let's imagine I work for one of the big four. If I go to past company, I could type in PwC, hit return, and we can see that there are 1,000 alumni in Microsoft who used to work at PwC. And then the same principles, I can filter this down by job function, by seniority, by geography, by all sorts of useful things. And also, I can set this as a safe search. So if imagine I work for PwC, I could then track any time that somebody used to work for PwC joins Microsoft. I then get a notification that that thing has happened. Other things you can also do, imagine you focus on ESG. So if I type in ESG, I can then start to see anybody with ESG in their profile across Microsoft. And then the same principles, I can look for past colleagues. So who did I used to work with? What's that shortest route into a conversation via an alumni network? Same principles here. I can see change jobs, 21, but I can also start to see who's posted on LinkedIn. So imagine I want to start to build awareness of my ESG offering, be it I work for a law firm or a consulting firm or what have you. I can then see who's posted on LinkedIn. And then, for example, I could see Sachil here, recent post on LinkedIn. I could start to engage in conversation just by dropping a like or a comment on Sachil's post, and then introducing myself to Sachil. This could be an event that maybe that we should be going to or have gone to. So all these people here, we can see this Miss Adora here, same principle. She posted this 4 days ago. I can then, exactly as I mentioned with Claire earlier, if I drop a like on this post, then Miss Adora gets a notification. If I drop a comment on this post, then everybody gets a notification that this thing has happened. And then if I were to post something on LinkedIn, it's more likely that my post would appear in Miss Adora's feed here. So really driving that awareness of, in this case, ESG, providing your profile, of course, talks to the fact that you are an ESG expert. Other things that for me I think are extraordinarily useful is you can also build this around your entire organization. So again, from an alumni perspective, let's imagine I work for, I'm make it up for a law firm here. Let's say I work for Clifford Chance as an example, past company. And then I can see you've got 32,000 alumni. I could type in general counsel here, and they've got 3,500 GCs on here. And then same principles, I can track where past colleagues are. We can track who's changing jobs. I can even do this by industry. So let's say I'm interested in those in the FS space. So if I click on financial services, imagine I'm a business developer or FS lead partner, I can track the 755 alumni from Clifford Chance who are now in the FS space. And again, we can filter this down by all sorts of further levels. I can click on the safe search, and then you can start to track this from this perspective. You can also run this by your book of business should you wish to. So if I just come back to the beginning here, and I've got my account list, and I have, for example, tracking the FTSE 100. And then you can look at the FTSE 100 here, and then same principles I could do. Okay, imagine I work for, again, one of the big four. I want to find my alumni there. So let's do past company, and let's maybe choose EY as an example. And then we can see that EY have 10,000 alumni across the FTSE 100, and I can go to seniority again, and I can just look at the C-suite, and we go to CXO, include, and very quickly I can see they've got 125 C-suite across the FTSE 100, and then same principles I can do who's changed jobs, and then very quickly we can see 7. And then you can see these alumni across these the FTSE 100. I can set this up as a safe search. I can use Team Link, all different things I can do to find out the shortest route to a conversation with this person. But the key thing for me in terms of what Sales Navigator enables you to do, it not only enables you to create that laser focused kind of one-to-one conversation at a lead level, but it also enables you to create those safe searches here where you can start to track and map what's happening across your accounts in quasi real time. And once that's set up, then you don't need to do anything. You're getting a weekly digest email of what's happening, who's changed jobs, who's been promoted, where your alumni are tracking. You can push this back into CRM systems subject to your CRM sync with those CRMs that I mentioned, Dynamics, Salesforce, and HubSpot. The critical part around all of this is then, what do you do with that information? What are you then going to do next differently? What are you going to pick up the phone, send an email, find a colleague who can start an introduction, go into your best contact within that key client with this new piece of information to then start a business conversation, which is then going to lead to business opportunity and then pipeline and then revenue. So from my perspective, Sales Navigator, where it is today, for the most part, anybody that's running a key client program in professional services, I think it's an absolute must that you need a couple of people across each account having a license. I think across all professional services, legal, consulting, accounting, my view is you want key business development folk having access to Sales Navigator. If you can build on that CRM sync, it becomes even more powerful. So if you're planning 2024, if you're thinking about how to leverage the best out of LinkedIn, I would seriously consider having a look at what Sales Navigator can do for you. As always, thanks for watching, and I'm always happy to answer any questions anybody has. Just send me a DM or a connection request, and I'll be happy to talk.